Hi guys, I'm Nadia Ledwith. I'm an independent paparazzi consultant and I am the Chic Jewel. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/the Chic Jewel. I wanted to talk to you again today about some new games that I've been playing on my lives. I have another video with other games like bingo that I've played in the past, but I'm always trying to come up with new ideas and new games to play. I love to play games, still do it on almost every single one of my lives, just to have conversation back and forth with my customers and my viewers, to get them excited to come on the live because they know they have a chance to win something, and to fill up time. So I will do it in between showing jewelry. I might show a few pieces, go back to the game, show a few pieces, go back to the game, and it gives everybody a chance to participate and have fun, and just makes it more of a relaxed atmosphere. So I want to talk to you about some new games that I have been playing lately. A lot of them are just board games that I can implement on a live, which is great. So you might have some other ideas too, but let me show you a few. So recently on one of my lives we played gestures, which is just like charades basically. So all you have to do is have some ideas. If you have the game, great, because the cards will tell you some ideas of what to act out. If you don't, find some on Google. Come up with some out of your head, really. Just write down some things that you're going to act out and try to get your audience to guess. There might be some rules that you want to implement. You don't have to do it just like I do, but I usually, for some of these games, will say only guess once. You only get one chance at it. Gives everybody a chance to answer. You know, some of your customers' Wi-Fi is going to be slower than others, and so sometimes they kind of get left in the dust because everybody's answering before them. So if I say only one guess, at least if nobody else got it, they still have a chance to get their guess in. So I like to do that to kind of try to be a little more fair to them. You want to remind them that the answer that you see first is the one that's going to count. Remind them that on their side it's always going to look like their comment is first, but it's going to be what you see on your screen. Say that at the beginning to keep people from getting mad about that, because you, without fail, will always have people say, hey, but I saw mine first. They are always going to see theirs first. That doesn't mean that you are. So remind them of that at the beginning of the game. Also, throughout the live, explain the game. As people are coming on, they're not going to know exactly what you're doing, so you want to give everybody a fair chance to be guessing. So mine here says baby. It also says robot. So some of you I'm sure could do the robot really good. I cannot, but I can kind of, do something robotic to try to get people to guess that I'm a robot. If you want to give a clue, like person, place, thing, idea, before you start, go ahead. If they're easy enough that you don't think they need a clue, then don't worry about it. Or maybe if nobody's getting it right, give them a clue. Also, if I feel like most people that want to answer have answered and nobody got it, then I'll say, okay, you get a second chance, go ahead and guess again. So you can either throw the question out and say, okay, nobody got that one, or you can say, all right, you guys can guess again since nobody's getting it. Whatever you want to do. So that's charades, whatever you want to call it, gestures, but that is super, super easy. Don't have to have the game, come up with your own ideas or Google some ideas, and that's super easy. Just actually got done with the live today and we played this game, so you see numbers up on my board, and this one worked out really, really well. People really got involved in this one, and I really just thought of it a few minutes before my live because I was trying to think of something different. I went upstairs and stared at all my games in the board game closet that we have and thought, how can I play this with them? So this is Scrabble. Super easy. We're going to play it kind of more like a boggle style, where I'm going to give them 3 letters, and the first person to come up with a word with those 3 letters is going to get a point. Now, I have all my Scrabble tiles in a bag. You do not have to have the game. You can just write on paper all the letters of the alphabet. I would double up some of the common letters, or double up especially the vowels, to make sure that most of the time you need a vowel. So double up your vowels so that you're sure you're going to grab some of those. Put them all in a paper bag. I grabbed the little tile holder because it's easier at least to show them, but you do not have to have that, or you can come up with something else. So I started with 3 letters, and I said I'm going to show you 3 letters. You have to have a word with at least 2 letters in it out of the tiles I picked. Of course, it has to show up on my screen first. So I picked 3 letters, showed them all at the same time, and told them to come up with a word. I did tell them it cannot be an abbreviation, and it cannot be a proper noun, which are the rules when you're playing Scrabble anyway. So it could not be like DR instead of doctor. Can't really be a contraction either because it can't have the apostrophe. So you might want to lay out some of those rules first. And then, once I showed them the letters, obviously the first person who came up with a word. Now if I showed them 3 letters like this one, A, E, O, if you know you can't really make a word out of that, or it's really hard to make a word out of that, I'll grab another letter and I'll add a letter to their choices until I'm sure that somebody can come up with a word. Now, they were coming up with words faster than I was anyway, so that's fine. It's up to you how picky you want to be. There was a couple that I was like, is that really a word? But my customers are good enough to say, hey, yeah, I looked it up. It means this. They did that for me. If you have those that you know are going to maybe fight over the answers, you might want to have a dictionary handy, something like that. But my customers were good enough to do that for me, so that I didn't have to judge whether it was actually a word or not. So if they can come up with a word, like even Anne would count, because it's 2 letters. I did tell them no 1-letter words. We don't want an A or an I. So as long as they can come up with a word like that, they get a point. Now I did say let's play bonus round, and I'm going to give you this many letters, and whoever can come up with the biggest word will get an extra point. So it wasn't necessarily the first word, but whoever can make the biggest word, you might want to give extra points for that. But that's Scrabble. My customers loved this. They really, really enjoyed playing this with me. So we will definitely be playing that one again. They all seemed to enjoy the word games even more than normal trivia and stuff like that. So definitely pull that one out. That one is free to you because you can just cut out those letters from paper. So it costs you nothing to do that. All right, and then the other game that we've been playing is called 5-Second Rule. Now it's called 5-Second Rule, the actual game is, but I don't actually do 5-second rule. You'll let the timer go off. This is a fun game. If you have a family at home, this is a fun game to have anyway. It's one of the newer games that we have at my house, and I love it. So the whole premise of the game is it's going to give you a category, and you have to list 3 things in that category. Now at home, you're supposed to only get 5 seconds to do that. That's not possible on the live, so I throw that rule out. But if you want to play it at home with your kids or even grown-ups, it's a super, super fun game. So you can buy that if you want to. But the thing that's great about it is you don't have to buy it if you don't want to for your lives. So basically, there are cards that say name 3, and then it gives you the topic. So that's all you're going to do is tell your watchers, name 3 months with 31 days. Now they don't give you the answers, so there are no answered cards. So make sure you don't pick anything that you're not sure of. But name 3 months with 31 days. Whoever gets those 3, any of the 3 on your screen first gets a point. This one says name 3 types of wild cats. So whoever comes up with 3, leopard, tiger, lion, whatever, gets the point. You can make this up. You completely make this up yourself. You don't even have to show them the card. You can just make up anything you want. Name 3 types of cars. And then your rules are going to be however strict or not strict you want them to be. If you want brands of cars, make sure you say brands. If types of cars, if someone says station wagon, like that. So make the rules what you want them to be, but I would suggest not making them too tough, but make them hard or make them strict enough rules that there's not going to be fighting over the answers, if that makes sense. So that's a really, really simple one, really, really easy. Come up with that on your own. Just write down on a piece of paper a bunch of categories before you start. I do suggest being prepared. I wouldn't try to think of those off the top of your head in the middle of a live, because then you can look a little silly while you're trying to come up with something. That game also comes with these kind of cards, kind of called the logo game part of it. So this part I would not think you'd have to put a lot of work into it to come up with this on your own, but it's kind of a bonus if you do buy the game. So there's cards that have pictures of logos on them, and then there are questions about the logo. So you would show the logo to your viewers, and the first question here is name this brand of products often found in bars. We know the answer, and the answers do come with this part, is Dove. So then all the rest of the questions on this card have to do with Dove. So that's just a little bonus kind of trivia, but it's a little different because you get to show a picture of something and it's already done for you. So that's that game. You have both options when you buy that game, or you can come up with your own. This would be a little more work to do at home, but obviously you could come up with some of this on your own too. Think of some of your favorite brands, print out a picture, come up with some questions about that brand. You can totally do that at home on your own as well. All right, so I hope that gives you a few more ideas of some games to play on your lives. If you have any other ideas, jot them down in the comments for me. I know someone, I think, suggested Jeopardy one time, and I haven't done that one yet because it's a little more work, but it is a great option. You can make your own Jeopardy board. I have done this for like baby showers, but out of cardboard, come up with your categories, come up with your 100, 200, whatever, if you want to make them different point values, and then put your questions and answers in there. I would make it, if you want to be real fancy, I would kind of make it maybe out of Velcro or something, the categories, so that you can constantly be changing those and you can use that board more than once, and then make your 100 through 500 things that don't have to move. So those are some more options for you. If you have enjoyed learning some more games, would you please like this video and then subscribe to my channel? And don't forget, there is another video about games if you want some other ideas. So I hope that helped you guys a little bit. Leave me any comments in the blank or any other ideas or questions that you may have. And again, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/thechicjewel. You can also take a look at my website, paparazziaccessories.com/185770. Thanks guys, I'll see you again.